Yailer, welcome back to the Average Father YouTube channel. Today we're going over the True Precision Tools cabinet hardware jig. This is to put knobs, pulls, whatever you want to call them, on your cabinets. It's super important if you spend a ton of money on your cabinets to get a professional style jig so you can make sure they're in exactly the same places on every door and cabinet. Alright, so we're going to do a little unboxing. Come on around here. C4 not sponsored. Alright, let's see what we're working with. Alright. Got a little serial number and a certificate of calibration. That's pretty cool. You just tell right away this is really professional. This is the Pro model, so makes sense. A little bit of advertising, a little bit of how to do's. Tag us in your projects at True Precision Tools. Not sponsored. Sweet. Excited to check all this out. So looks like we have some spare parts in here if needed. The main jig itself, and then I'm assuming this extra bar is to extend somehow, probably uses this piece here. Comes with a drill bit, that's nice. Yeah, I'm gonna check out these instructions here, make sure I get this thing put together, and follow up with you in a minute. All right, this thing's pretty cool. So it has really clear instructions. These are super awesome to use. But basically, the first step is you got to figure out whether you do knobs or handles, and whether you're doing drawers or doors. All right, so you take your hardware. You know, I need to adjust this door a little bit, so I'm taking that into consideration. And you place it to about where you want. You get your wife's approval, and then you make a mark. Next, we're gonna come up from the bottom of our cabinet. We're gonna measure. So we are 2 3/16 from the bottom. So we're gonna take this bottom one and we're gonna go 2 3/16 up. So there's 2 3/16 right there. And then we're gonna measure our horizontal distance here. We're about 1 1/16. 1 1/16. Lock these in, and now this will line up perfectly with your hole, and it does. Okay, so we're gonna grab our drill, use this drill bit that they provided. We're gonna drill this hole, and then here's where the magic happens. You just turn this around and use it the same exact way and drill this hole. So now I know these are exactly in the same spot. When I level out those doors, it'll match perfect. So let's do that. All right, now the scary part. You know, it's really hard to be like, you know, 5, 10, 15, 20, some cabinets, $50,000, and drill a hole in them. So you wanna make sure that you know, triple check yourself here. But why I chose to go with this, not like a just make my own jig, is right here where you're drilling the holes. If you use a piece of wood, and you're re-drilling over and over and over again, by the time you finish all your holes, you're gonna kind of waller out that hole, and you're gonna create an opportunity for an error. And this kind of eliminates that. So let's go here. Go from bottom up and over, and we're gonna just kind of send it here. Okay, got our hole. Clean that up later. Just do a 180 here. Make sure we're bottom here and we're touching, we're square. We're gonna go right through this one. Okay. And then you can, usually your knob will come with the screw, which is nice. They put them in 17 different layers of packaging for you, so it makes it easy to retrieve them. The parts where I like to edit them out. 7 miles. There we go. Okay, so nice part here. Throw your screw through. Do it on both sides. Take your screwdriver and your knob. And then you can screw this on. So you're tight. Now go to your screwdriver. Give it one little twist so it's firm. That side's done. We'll do the same over here. Screwdriver in. Right-handed, so just use the screwdriver just till it's firm. That's it. I mean, if that doesn't just speak for itself, I don't know what does. So we'll adjust these. They'll be perfectly level after that, and we'll move on. So a few more here to do. I don't need to touch this at all. I just need to keep drilling my holes. So come over here. Lazy Susan cabinet. You know, we were over here on that first door, so just simply move this over, drill our hole, make sure we're not gonna punch through the cabinet. And that one's done. Come over to this next one, it opens this way. Redo the orientation and drill through. Over next door, make sure you're square up here. I have noticed that because there's kind of a lot of weight out here, sometimes you might lean out this way. Just make sure that's tight. Last one of these white upper cabinets here. Getting all turned around. There we go. This one, we are gonna go, I want my handles, you don't have to do this, you can just throw it up there where it looks nice, but I'm just, for reference, I'm trying to figure out where the center of this is. So if we measure, it's like 2 1/8 over, so if we do 2 1/8, would be 1 1/16, right? So that's just gonna get me that center. I'm kind of using this to line up the bottom of this. And so then I know that right there is where I want to be with the bottom hole. And that is because I want the bottom of this handle to be kind of lined up there. Okay? Got approval from the camera woman? That's where you want it? Okay. So, next, we're gonna measure that. So, you know, we know we're 1 1/16 over. So now we're gonna get our next distance. It's 2 3/16. Okay. So we come over here, we grab our jig. We're gonna need 2 holes here, so we add this on. So these are lined up. It's a little deceiving, but these are actually in a plane. Okay, so for our horizontal distance, we said 1 1/16. We're already set up there from the last one. Now on the bottom, we needed 2 3/16, and we are at 2, 1, 2 3/16. So this is thankfully the exact same. So you know, the wife, now that we got knobs on everything, changed her mind and wants poles. No, you other average fathers know what I'm talking about. Thankfully, that's in the same spot, so I can just throw my cabinet hardware on here. I'll show you in a second, and drill the second hole, and we can change this out. No big deal. Thank God, because those cabinets were not cheap. All right, so for our cabinet pole, what do we do with it? Set it over here. These little spikes that they come with look like little cleat spikes. these slip in your hole here. And I mean, these guys literally thought of everything. So you put those in there upright, and then you just set your hole handle dealio in here. Kind of make sure you're square. And that's exactly where that needs to be. So it's right at 5 inches. So pull these out, make sure you put them right back in your box so your average father kidlets do not swallow them. Okay, those are in there. This is set, that's tight, that's tight, that's tight. Now I know that's perfect. And we can drill these holes and throw these on. Just make sure everything's not gonna move on you. And I mean, how awesome is this? You grab your drill, come over here, make sure you're lined up. We are there, we're perfect. I mean, how awesome is this? You just drill your hole. Make sure you don't go through the back of your finger. And you do your second one. All right, that's done. You do a 180. That's up there. Make sure you move your finger from behind. Going in. Take a hole. Done. All right. We can keep going, but I want to make sure that, well, really, I'm just excited to put these on, see what it looks like. All right. See what these look like. There are screws on. A lot of cleaning to do. I'll tell you what. If you're gonna get black cabinets, make sure you like to clean. Dusty. Get that started in there. Get this one started in here. This one is trying to cross thread on me there. There we go. Okay. If that one started, we'll throw some screws in this one. Clean up a little bit. Put those in. Those in. This one started. I love to learn if I'm screwing something up, so if any of you pro cabinet people see this and think, why are you doing that way? Let me know in the comments. If I'm doing an okay job, maybe toss a like, subscribe, so feed the family. Yeah, that snug, this snug. The only thing I'm thinking is maybe might be a little variance. Nope, looks pretty straight. I'm thinking variance with me just putting these screws in, making sure that they're somewhat equal before tighten them all the way down. That way you can ensure you're straight. Okay. What do you think? Oh yeah, that looks sharp. So we'll knock the rest of these out. We'll drill these, put our things and stuff on here, and have a finished looking kitchen. We still gotta do some touch-up paint and stuff. So if you guys are curious and more content, let me know.